You guys, welcome back to your favorite crochet channel, and I'm finally back with a tutorial, but it's a very special one because it's a tutorial for one piece, one very special piece from my upcoming first ever drop, because I am opening my own yarn brand where you can actually buy these cuties, which are called the Belina 100% recycled yarns, cotton yarns. And I decided to not only design beautiful sets for you, which you can like DIY by yourself and buy them in my shop with everything you need, with cute written patterns, but also I wanted to share a tutorial just for free for you to recreate if you want with my yarn, but also feel free to use your own yarn, of course. But if you want to make me a very happy person, you can check out my own shop, which is launching in I think a week at the 17th. So set your timers. I would love to see you with my yarn. This feels so surreal because if you haven't seen my last vlog, which I did in English, my first English vlog, you might not even know how much work that was, but I vlogged 1 week, and it was the week where we created all of these pieces. And I was struggling, and I was having, I don't know, 5 mental breakdowns. But here we are with this tutorial for this beautiful summer sweater in black and white with my yarn. That's surreal. That's very surreal. But I don't want to talk any longer because you guys are here for this tutorial. But if you want to, you can check out the description and follow my brand on Instagram, or check out the link, or whatever you want. I would, yeah, just love to get your guys' feedbacks. I'm excited to start this journey with you because there's a lot more coming. I have so many ideas for future drops and yarn colors and variations, and I just would love to see you with my yarn. And now we'll stop talking and see you with your recreation. Hopefully, if you send me pictures on Instagram or whatever, I would love to see them on you. So make sure to tag me or send me pictures. I would love to see, and I would love to see you with my own yarn. This feels very weird to say, but enjoy your tutorial, and that's it. We're gonna start with our front and back piece of the sweater, which means you're gonna grab the yarn of your choice. I'm gonna start with black, and you're gonna do your slip knot as a beginning. I'm gonna pull the yarn from the middle, not from the outside part, because I don't like my yarn to get tangled up in the end, and I prefer this. So I'm gonna do my slip knot now. As always, if you're not familiar with the basics, you can either have a look at my little stitch helper that comes in the package. I'm thinking about also releasing it as a PDF. I don't know, maybe you're interested. And if not, I'm gonna also link some tutorials. But you're gonna start with your slip knot, and now we're chaining up 66. This is gonna be our foundation chain. So I'm gonna start with my chain ups, 66 in total. And we're gonna meet again when you're done with your 66 chain ups. Yay! And this is how wide your front and back piece is gonna be. So we're gonna crochet from bottom of your front piece / back piece to the top, where your head is gonna go through. So I'm gonna show you now on my body what this length is compared to my body. I'm gonna do a very, very oversized looking sweater. I think you saw in the intro part
how like oversized mine fits. I think it's like, I would say probably an oversized medium fit. So if I compare it to my body, it's now like a very drop shoulder fit, because my front and back piece is going to stop here, and here's where the sleeve is going to start. So this is going to be the fit. So if you want it to be a bit more oversized, add a few more chains, and if you want it to be less oversized, just make some less chains. Just make sure that you can divide it by 2, and then you should be fine with every pattern and everything. Yeah, that's it. Let's start. We're gonna do like the square from bottom to top, and then the same thing again for the back. But don't worry, I'm gonna show you. Let's go. I am now going to add another 1 chain up before starting with the first row. This is just the one that is gonna kind of like be the start of each row. But we're gonna come to this later more in detail. But we're gonna now start with our first row of half double crochets, and we're gonna go through the second chain from our hook, which means we're gonna, it's a bit hard to see with the black yarn, I'm very sorry, but I'm gonna try my best to show you. This is the one on our hook, and we're gonna now go not through this one, like wait, not through this one, but the second one with our first half double crochet, which means take the yarn, slip through, and again. And this is our first half double crochet, and we're going to continue through all these little loops right there, each of these with 1 half double crochet, so that in the end we have 66 half double crochets. Or if you decided to do some less or more chains, you're gonna have this number of chains in the end. You know, just make sure to add another one before starting your row, and then we're now gonna meet again when you're finished this row. I'm about to do my last 2 half double crochets, but before I am closing this very last stitch, I'm going to switch to my white yarn. Again, gonna pull from the middle, and I'm gonna close this last stitch with white, because the next row I'm gonna do white mesh double crochet stitches. So I'm gonna slip the white yarn through this last half double crochet and pull everything tight and chain up 1, 2, 3, because this is always how we're starting mesh double crochet rows, because I'm now gonna turn around my row, and these first two stitches are counting as the first double crochet, and this one is going to be the mesh part, because now we are always doing double crochets. Make sure to not go into this first one, but the second one, because we're skipping this very first stitch. I hope you can see it's always horrible with the black yarn, but this is what project we chose, right? So we're not going through this first one, but this second stitch through the V part, which means if you go through and look from the top, you should have 2 strands of yarn, like right there, as you can see. So go through this and then do your double crochet like this. And now, because we want to do this mesh pattern, we're chaining up 1 and doing our next double crochet not in the upcoming chain, like not here, but in this one, like through this half double crochet from the row before. And we're going to do our double crochet right there, chain up 1 again, because we're skipping this half double crochet we did, and gonna go into the second one from this stitch. And just like that, we are going to continue until we arrive at the end of the row. So this is what it should look like. I am now going to finish my very last mesh double crochet. This last stitch is always a bit hard to find, but just make sure that you skip one and go into this very last chain. It's kind of like on the half on the side, as you can see. It's like not on top, it's a bit hidden right here, but just make sure to chain up one last time and go through this very last stitch on the row. And this time I'm going to finish off the row in the still with white, because I'm going to start the next row also with white. I'm going to do like double crochets into these big holes because I like the look that it gives in the end. But first of all, because we're doing double crochets, we need to chain up 2 at the beginning of the row. You can always remember that if we do single crochets or half double crochets, you want to chain up 1, and if you do double crochets, you're going to chain up 2. If you do triple crochets, you're going to chain up 3 at each beginning of the row. That's just how it goes. So I chained up 2. I'm going to turn around my project and I'm going to do 2 double crochets in each of these big holes. In this first and last chain, we're only gonna do 1, like in this one, and then 1 on top of here. So in this first, we're not gonna do 2 because this counts as our first double crochet. So start with your first double crochet into this hole, but we're not gonna do 2 because this is like our pair of 2 double crochets. The next pair is gonna go right through this next one. So do your 2 double crochets into the same hole, like right here. And yeah, just continue with this pattern until you're finished and until you're ready with row number 3. And it's gonna look this cute. I don't know why, I love it. So this is what it should look like. I'm now doing my last 2 double crochets for this row, and then I'm gonna do the last row with white before changing again to the black yarn. So now just do your almost last double crochet right here, and the last one is gonna go not through this first chain up we did, but through the second one, like right there, through the top V part, which is this one. So from the other side you should only have 1 yarn, and here 2. And this is where we're setting the last double crochet of row number 3. Now we're starting with row number 4. In this row I'm gonna do mesh single crochets, which means we're gonna chain up 1, which is gonna be the single crochet, but because we're doing mesh and skipping 1, we're gonna chain up 2 and turn around the project before starting with our mesh single crochets, which means just do your first single crochet, not through this very first stitch, but the second one. So right there, single crochet, then chain up 1, skip this next stitch and go through this second stitch, chain up 1 again, and single crochet, not to this, but here. So we're always chaining up 1 and then single crocheting while skipping 1 stitch from the row before. This looks a bit weird at first, like a bit chaotic, but believe me, when we're going to do the 5th row with black, it's going to look cute in the end, because we're again going through these mesh stitches that we're doing, just like we did this row before, but in black, and it's gonna look cool. So continue like this until you arrive at the end of your row. Just finished this row of single crochet mesh, But again, I'm going to show you the last chain because we're changing colors, which means I'm going to chain up one last time and going to do my last single crochet right, not through this one, but this very first chain ups that we did. This is from the row before, so we're not going to go through this part here, but through this second chain up that we did. It's always a bit complicated, but it should look like this in the end. But I'm again not closing off with the white yarn. I'm gonna cut it off and close with my black yarn. So I'm gonna slip this through my last single crochet. And if you want to, I always tie at this side, not once, but twice. Not too tight, but like just for a little extra security. Now we're gonna chain up 2 again because we're doing double crochets. Again, just like in this row, we're gonna do them in between these big like loops. But the difference is that this time it's a bit more hidden because as you can see now, you can't really see them. But if you pull them apart, you know, you can see that here is this one mesh. It's always where we left out one of the double crochets from the row before. This is where we're going through. So it's here because we skipped this one from the row before and did go into this one. And then the next one is here because we skipped this stitch, you know? And through these big holes, we are doing 2 double crochets. So chain up 2, flip around your project. Again, this is our first double crochet from our first pair, which means into this very first loop, like this bigger loop, where we skipped 1 stitch the row before, we're only gonna do 1 double crochet because this is our first pair. And now into this second bigger loop, mesh stitch, we're gonna do 2 double crochets. And now look for your next mesh stitch and set your next 2 double crochets through this hole. And this is what it should look like. So continue until you arrive at the end of the row, and then we are ready to start the next row, which is gonna be a bit of a different pattern. It's actually, I think, the last of the pattern explanations that you're going to need before you can go like freestyle, but we're gonna keep that up to later and continue now with this stitch, and then I'm gonna explain to you the rest. Look how cute this already looks. Ah, I love it. I don't know why this makes me so happy to see, but just with like black and white cotton yarn, you can do like so many beautiful pieces. I think that's crazy. But let's just finish this row and start with our last, I think, different style of a row. And then we already have like all the stitches together that I'm gonna use for the rest of the piece. So I'm gonna do my last double crochet into this last mesh stitch right here. And the very last double crochet is gonna go through this single crochet chain up that we did this row before. So try to find that. It's again a bit hard to find, but just make sure to get it so that this line is straight in the end and not like a weird wavy looking side. And now what we're gonna start with is again a mesh stitch, but this mesh stitch is not gonna be with double crochets, not with triple crochets, but with, I think it's called quadruple crochets. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but it means that the stitches, we're always gonna like put 3 on the hook, but I'm gonna explain later. Just start by chaining up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Flip around your project, and this is gonna be a very meshy looking stitch. So now we're not doing a double crochet, not a triple crochet, but for this quadruple crochet, it has to be like 4 on the hook before going into your first stitch. Again, we are always skipping our first stitch and going like not right into this one, but this second one, like on top of the second double crochet from the row before. And we're gonna just slip through, slip through, slip through, slip through again, and slip through one last time before starting with the mesh, which means chaining up 1 and again 1, 2, 3 on the hook, or more or less 4. And now again skip 1 of these loops and go right into this one, like the next one. Hope you can see, like not on top of this stitch, but this one right here. And slip through all of them until you arrive at the top before chaining up 1 again, skipping 1 of these stitches from the row before and going right through the next one. 1, 2, 3. And just like that, we're going to continue this whole row again. And this is what the mesh stitch should look like. I love to do this because it adds like lots of, I don't know, just like a cute different type of stitches, that it's like not too tight everything, that we have like some more looser parts, like more see-through parts and more, I don't know, I think I just love the look of it. If you don't like it, you can use other stitches, but I'm gonna continue like this for this whole row, and then I'm gonna explain to you how to do the rest of this piece. Let's finish row number 6 together. So chain up 1 last time, 1, 2, 3, and go into this very last double crochet top loop, like right here. Again, a bit tricky to find, especially if you have these wonderful long nails, like I do. So, last chains are set. Woohoo! So, this is what my piece looks like for now. And from now on, what you're gonna do is you're gonna switch colors and, I don't know, whatever patterns you wanna use until you have the perfect length to cover your like front and back body, or like more or less only front for now. Until you're happy. So for me, I'm gonna do this piece as long as my front body is from neck till my belly. But if you want it to be a bit longer, just continue as long as you want to until you're happy with the length. I'm gonna show you my piece in a few seconds when I'm ready, and just continue with the pattern that you like. You can also, of course, have a look at my written cute pattern of the summer sweater. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna talk about this forever from now on because, oh, it makes me so happy. So excited to show you everything. But yeah, I'm gonna continue now. I'm gonna show you some in-betweens and my finished square. So this now is like 15 rows, I think. And I think I have to add another 15. To be honest, I thought it's like already a bit longer, but I wanted to hit like this spot, like where my belly button is. So I think I need a lot more rows. Welcome back, you guys. I just finished both of my like body pieces for the summer sweater, which means one is for the front and one is for the back. And I think I'm happy with the length. It also always, because I work with cotton, it sometimes like stretches in the end also, like the more you wear it. So I think I'm happy with the length. And now we want to connect. And we want to connect once at the shoulder part, like from here till here. And this is where we're gonna leave some space for the head. And then we want to start from down there till, I don't know, maybe somewhere here. I have to like try it on after crocheting, like connecting this part. I have to try it on and to mark like where my arm starts. So this is then the part we're gonna leave out for the sleeves to start. And we're only gonna crochet, like connect from down there till somewhere here probably. But I'm gonna show you how to measure it so that it fits perfectly on your beautiful body. And for now, what you want to do is you're gonna take your white yarn. I have some left over from the body part, which should be perfect to connect together. And what you wanna do is you wanna have a look at your pattern and make sure that you lay both pieces, like the back piece and the front piece, together, like on top of each other with the same side, like facing each other. So make sure that it's not like this, but this way, so that you have the same order of rows, like the design that you did. You can also just switch it up if you want to, but then it's harder to connect like on the side parts at the end. So I prefer like the same order of row patterns I did. For me, I am going to start with like 17 to 18 centimeters for the connecting part on both shoulder sides. And we are not going to close it off at the end, like we're not going to secure it very tight, because we're gonna try it on then. And if it's a bit too loose, like the part here is a bit too big, you can continue closing, or if it's too tight, we have to be able to open it up again. So we're gonna start connecting on one side. You can use whatever connecting stitch you want to use. So I'm gonna start with a slip knot and start connecting these two pieces together with slip stitches through the back loops only. You can use whatever connecting stitch that you feel like doing. You can also sew together if you're more comfortable with doing that. There is literally nothing right or wrong. But if you want to know how I am doing it, I'm always taking the back loops of each stitch and then just slipping through and slip stitching my way . And this is what my seam looks like. I'm gonna continue until I have kind of something about 18 centimeters from both sides, and then we're gonna meet again. Just finished connecting this one side. I did a few more centimeters, currently at, perfectly 18 centimeters, wow. And now I am going to cut off the yarn. I'm gonna be a bit more generous, but not that generous, because I feel like I'm more likely to open up a few more stitches, and if I want to close a few more, I don't need that much yarn. So I'm gonna kind of leave it like that. And I am just going to slip it through, but leave it like this so that I can open it up again. So I'm not fully closing it. And now I'm gonna do the same on this other side. Like here's where I connect the first part, and now off to this side right here. Finished connecting on both sides. I think this is way too tight for my head to fit like through, but we will see. I can open up a few more stitches, so we don't mind. I'm now going to try to put it over my head, and then I'm going to take 2 markers to set the point where the sleeve is going to start. So let's try it on. Well, I don't think that this is going to fit. I'm gonna open up a few more stitches because this is not going to fit like that. Now let's try again. Yeah. Oh, tight, but fine like that. Okay. This is looking good. Oh, you guys. Oh my god, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. So now, what I'm going to do is, I am going to take a marker like this one, and I'm going to put it right where I want my sleeve to start. Mark it. I think this will be good. What are we saying? So set your marker wherever it feels best for you. I think I'm gonna also like try it once more with the marker only, with like a different top, so that I can see it a bit better than with my very oversized shirt. And I'm also going to close these connecting parts. I'm gonna add a few more to this side and a few less on this side, so that's even. But yeah, this is where we're going, and now we're starting to connect from down here till there, and then we're going to start crocheting around these, like this hole at the sleeves, in just like circles. But we're going to get there, and I'm going to show you everything. So let's go. So now that this is connected, we're going to connect from down there till right where you want your sleeve to start. For this, I now did connect 20 chains with each other, and like from each side, and then left the other part. I think it's 25 or something chains I left open for my head to go through. And now we are connecting from down here till up here, and I'm gonna leave around 20 centimeters, as you can see from the marker, till up there. It's around yeah, a bit more than 20 centimeters to like for my arm to go through. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna use the same leftover yarn that I have in white and start connecting from down here till right where I want my sleeve to start. And again, you can use whatever connecting stitch you want to use. For me, it's gonna be the same. You can also, again, sew or whatever. I just connected the sides, and now here is where my sleeve is going to go through. I left a space of, wait, let me go from like this connecting part on the shoulder down to this one. Oh, I actually left around 25 centimeters if I go from this top to the bottom part. And now I'm going to not cut off the yarn that I connected with, but I'm going to use it to crochet the first row of the sleeve. And I am going to do this by adding half double crochets all around this hole. But the most important part is that, as you can see here, we are coming to a part where we did double crochets in a row, which means, first of all, I'm going to chain up 1. And then I'm going to start my half double crochets, but because we did double crochets like here, we have to do 2 half double crochets into this hole. Then we come to a row of single crochets right here, which means we're going to do only 1 half double crochet right here. And this is a half double crochet. I'm only going to do 1 here too. 1 single crochet, which means 1 half double crochet. Now here, double crochet again, as you can see. Here, the double crochet mesh stitch, which means set 2 half double crochets right there. And then here we did the triple crochet, as you can see. So not 1, not 2, but 3 half double crochets right here. And by doing this, we are making sure that it's not cinched together at the end, because we want the sleeve to be like the same length. So we're doing the same stitches into this direction than we did into this. So yeah, continue like this for the whole sleeve part, and then when we're back at the part where we started, we're going to connect and start the next row. About to set my last half double crochet, and now I am again where we started the row, and here I am going to connect everything, not into this stitch but this second one right there with a slip stitch, and this is how we connect. And from now on we just always chain up 1, 2 or 3 at the beginning of the row, depending on what pattern you want to use for the row, like what kind of stitch. And you're just going to switch colors however you like, how often you like, and crochet like the design that you want to do. You can just do the same that you did on your body part. You can do something completely different. And I'm gonna leave you all by yourself. Make sure to chain, like connect at the end of each row and chain up the perfect number of chains that you need for the stitch that you're doing in the upcoming row. And I'm just gonna continue with the sleeves, and then we have to do this whole thing on the other side too for the second sleeve. And then we're coming to the end of the sweater. Woo! Update time, you guys. This is where I'm at right now. Somehow it takes me longer than expected to finish the sleeves. I want to finish them today. But yeah, this is where I am right now. One sleeve is still missing. And this one, I'm not sure how long I want to make it. I think I have to add a few more rows. But I also don't want it to be too long, because it, like, even after blocking, when you're wearing it, it's gonna stretch a bit. So I want the sleeves to be very long. And also I love to wear my tops kind of like a bit off shoulder, like a bit, you know? And if I wear it like that, it's already long enough. So I think I'm gonna add 1 or 2 more rows and then start with the other sleeve. And then I can finally add my labels, my brand labels at the end. Then I'm finished. So I'm gonna do that. I hope your piece is going good for now.
I tried to wake you from your dream, but you were
You guys, I hope you're happy with your result. I hope you finished your summer sweater and you love it as much as I do. And also, of course, make sure to set your little reminders for my drop if you want to check it out. If not, it's also fine, but I would be very happy about it. So make sure to follow me on Instagram or whatever, subscribe to this channel and check out the upcoming videos. There are more tutorials coming, and also these cuties. Stay tuned. Ah!